Well, guys, it is week 4 in the NFL regular season, and here are my picks. Last week I did all right. It was a crazy week of football, but I did manage to end up at 10-6, which is okay, but let's see if we can get better this week. Thursday night football, you got an NFC North showdown with two of the teams that are most likely going to be competing for that division championship up there. You got the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Last week I thought Aaron Jones and Christian Watson were going to be back. Neither of them were, but they still managed to win that game against the Saints last minute. I'm going to double down here, and I'm going to go again with the Green Bay Packers. I do believe they're better than the Detroit Lions, and I think they beat them. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars and you got the Atlanta Falcons. I think the Jags can bounce back here. I don't know how they ended up losing that game. That was a surprise. That was a head scratcher. But there's just got to be something here where they do bounce back. I don't trust the Falcons yet. It's still too early in the season, but I think the Jaguars are a better talented team and they can really find their rhythm and keep it going. And I still think they're the best team in their division. How about the Miami Dolphins dropping 70 points? But just as, well, maybe not as impressive, but the Buffalo Bills found their way back again. I told you guys they were going to beat the Commanders, but wow, 37-3. They completely, let's just call it a shutout. That field goal didn't count at the end. The Bills shut out the Commanders, who a lot of people were high on. They thought that they were the real deal, but still early in the season. But this is going to be a good matchup. There were some really good games that they had last season between the Dolphins and the Bills. This one's going to be tough, but I got to go with the Miami Dolphins. All right, the Vikings are 0-3, guys. Wow, there is trouble happening in there, but I don't think it would have been as detrimental as if the Chargers went 0-3. Like, there would have been changes in Los Angeles if that happened. Minnesota, though, it's not the end of the world, right? 0-3 is terrible to start, but it's not the end of the world. If they can get their momentum, I mean, guys, if you're starting these guys in fantasy, I mean, you're winning big time. It's just things are not clicking. They're taking on the Carolina Panthers, who are 0-3, two winless teams. Something's got to give here. I would be surprised if the Panthers won this game, so I'm going to go with the Vikings getting their first win of the season. And on the other side of that 70-point performance against the Miami Dolphins, you have the Denver Broncos. Wow, that is a shocker, and I feel for the city of Denver, but they're going to be playing the Chicago Bears. Two bad teams going at it. I don't know which one's in a worse situation. I feel like the Broncos have the higher ceiling. I think that's what everyone thought. They all thought their defense was at least going to be good. But the Chicago Bears, god dang, there's nothing going right for them. So I'm going to go with the Broncos here to get the win and beat the Bears. Wow, the Ravens obviously lost their game to the Indianapolis Colts, but a little asterisk next to it. They had 7 starters out, right? But the Browns were able to take care of business, and they beat the Tennessee Titans. This kind of lingers on where the health status is of the Baltimore Ravens. But I got to say, though, my inclination is I think I like the Browns better in this matchup. So, yeah, why not? Let's go with the Browns. That Steelers defense, man, I know we're talking about the Niners. I know we're talking about the Eagles. Sometimes we're talking about the Cowboys, at least not after last week's performance. But the Steelers, wow. I mean, they look really great. Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, they're just so aggressive, so physical. They're going to win this game. They're going to beat the Texans. As we all know, the Colts had that upset. Again, asterisk. Injuries, Baltimore Ravens. As for the status of Anthony Richardson, we don't know yet. Most likely he'll be out of concussion protocol, so he should be back in this game. Rams dropped their game against the Bengals on Monday Night Football, but I do believe the Rams bounce back. I do believe they're better than the Colts. I know that offensive line is highly suspect, and Matthew Stafford went down like 5 or 6 times on Monday night, but I think the Rams bounce back here and get a win. This one's a toss-up, but I will say this about the Buccaneers. I know they started the season 2-0, and with that loss against the Eagles, they're now 2-1. I was just, come on, let's be real. We were never sold on them. But on the other side of that, you have the Saints they're most likely going to be without Derek Carr going into this game, which is a big thing. But behind that, I mean, I think they have some pretty good depth at that position. You got Taysom Hill, you got Jameis Winston. I'm actually gonna go with the Saints here. I think even without Derek Carr, the Saints will find a way to win and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. NFC East showdowns, you got the Commanders and the Eagles. Pretty important because when the Eagles were undefeated, guess which team gave them their first loss? It's the Commanders. So I guess, Washington, they can be sneaky in that kind of way. But I just don't see it here. I never bought into the hype. I never thought the Washington was the real deal or anything like that. I'm going to go with the Eagles here. And yeah, I think they're going to start the season 4-0. The Bengals finally got their first win of the season, but they still look a little dormant, shall I say. Nothing really sparking on the offense, and T. Higgins kind of struggling as well. The Titans are kind of flowing under the radar. They're not really sticking out. They're not getting any kind of impressive wins. But here, I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think they're getting their second win of the season. Man, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be out for this game just due to that concussion protocol. So I'm going to lean a little bit towards the Chargers here. They get their second win of the season to go 2-2. 49ers look like one of the best teams in the NFL. And the Cardinals got I know, I was there. You don't have to tell me. They got a surprising win over the Cowboys, but the Cardinals are underrated. They got a little feistiness to them. I just don't think it's going to be enough against the San Francisco 49ers. I think the 49ers will walk away with this one going 4-0. And I know all eyes are going to be on this matchup here. You got the Patriots and the Cowboys. Obviously, the Cowboys dropped that game. Like I said, you don't need to remind me. I was there. I saw it. Then you got the Patriots, who I got to be unbiased and realistic like I am. I've been cheering for the Patriots. I was telling you guys that they just got to figure these things out. They're starting late. But if they can figure that out, and the Cowboys got to bounce back mentally. So there's a chance here. There's a chance for the Patriots to get a win here and get to 2-2 and get the Cowboys down to 2-2. This is a tough game. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, man. They gotta win. They gotta win. Sunday Night Football. My oh my, would this have been an incredible matchup if Aaron Rodgers was still playing? But good God, this is gonna be a blowout. Dang, the Jets, man, they're a mess right now. They're saying they believe in Zach Wilson, but they don't believe it. Chiefs gonna win this game. They win on Sunday night. Monday Night Football. This is actually a really great matchup. This is a potential playoff matchup right here. This is a wild card matchup right here. You got the Seahawks and the Giants. Seahawks look pretty good. Giants are 1-2, but I'm actually gonna go with the New York Giants on this one. I think they get a win here at home. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to comment down below your picks, and I'll see you next week.